I've been loving my time with the PlayStation 5, but one complaint I have been seeing over and over again in my comment section, and something that I've noticed as well, is the atrocious PlayStation Store and the representation of the deals. All the deals available, because even though a lot of PlayStation 5 games aren't necessarily going on sale on the PlayStation Store, we got backwards compatibility, and a lot of people want to buy PlayStation 4 games, and it was so hard to actually find what games are on sale. Well, now it looks like that the PlayStation Store has finally added a deal section, which is really great. I actually went on the deal section last night on my PS5, and I noticed that the retro and remaster sale was a part of there, but I had to do a little bit more digging to find the under $20 sale, which is still running, so it's not perfect yet. But let's get this PlayStation Store rolling, man. One of the big elements of the PlayStation 5 is backwards compatibility, and this should be an instance where Sony themselves can make a lot of money because they have this back catalog of hundreds and hundreds, thousands and thousands of games where they can continue to sell those to consumers. However, how are people supposed to buy those games if they can't even find them? And the PlayStation Store was just an atrocity for a while, but looks like it's finally getting better. We'll talk a little bit about this and also details on the next Tomb Raider game, which we haven't heard much about Tomb Raider since the release of SOTR. More on that in just a little bit. But as noted on GameSpot, Sony has now issued an update to the PlayStation Store as it appears on PS5, and it has added a deals tab to the interface. You can find the new tab in the navigation bar between the collections and the subscription pages, and you'll find the remasters and retro game sale being promoted in that section. Again, that is only one sale running right now. Ideally, you would want to promote the remasters and retro game sale and the under $20 sale. I know remasters and retro is the more recent of the two sales, but still there's a lot of good deals in the under $20 sale. This is one area where Sony really needs to refine it and get it easy to navigate, because at this point they have a litany of PlayStation titles that are offered as purchasable items for consumers, and you gotta think about how Steam does it. I mean, Steam isn't perfect, but Steam has thousands upon thousands of games, and they try to get the relevant games to the relevant potential buyers because you want to make it as accessible as possible and getting the right games to the right people. At this point, Sony has amassed a large catalog of games on the PlayStation Store, and it's not just going to be an element of, oh, if they want to buy the game, they can look it up. No, some people actually just want to browse the PlayStation Store, find a game maybe they've never heard of, and then buy it that way, or at least just make it easier to navigate, because right now it's not very good. And it's interesting because they have the elements of the PlayStation 4 that were so poor completely done away with, because the PlayStation Store itself is fast and fluid to navigate. However, the layout and those elements are now the drawbacks, where I would argue the PlayStation 4 store, the store that's on there, that is still super easy to navigate. They got the deals on the left section, relatively easy to go through. I wouldn't say it's as good as like a Steam layout and how they do it. Those are elements that I would consider Sony still needing to implement as a part of their store. However, right now the PlayStation 5 store needs a lot of work. At the very least, adding a deal section is a much necessary step in the right direction. There's still a lot of work to be done, especially as more and more PlayStation 5 games are released. And remember, there's going to be more PlayStation 4 games released as well, and this thousands and thousands of games we already have in the PlayStation Store, that is going to grow exponentially year over year as Sony becomes more accepting of a lot of indie developers releasing their games. There's going to be a lot of games on the PlayStation Store. It's not at the level of Steam yet, and it'll probably never be, but it's definitely at a level where you need to make these games as easy to find and getting them to the relevant potential buyers, because that's how it's going to be as successful as possible. And I'm advocating this, not only making the consumer's life easier, but also allowing the developers to make as much money as they can, allowing Sony to make as much money as they can, because right now they're leaving money on the table because a lot of people are just not even going to deal with the shenanigans. Alright, enough with that. At the very least, they've added a deals tab. Hopefully they refine the store throughout the course of 2021. I do also want to note that Tomb Raider put out a tweet noting, "We're celebrating 25 years of Tomb Raider throughout 2021 with community features, nostalgic content, and surprises along the way." Well, in this video, there's a couple of interesting statements. A developer noting, "We envision the future of Tomb Raider unfolding after the rebooted trilogy, telling stories that build upon both the breadth of core design and Crystal Dynamics games, looking to unify these timelines," the game director said in the video. "With Tomb Raider extensive history, that is not an easy task, and we ask for patience as we go through the process. Remember that the Tomb Raider trilogy was more of an origin story, and there is that Tomb Raider history, and unifying these two timelines and making it all make sense is going to be something that might be a little bit difficult to do, but hopefully Crystal Dynamics can end up making it all make sense. Tomb Raider, I think, has been one of the standout franchises of the last generation. When you look at Tomb Raider 2013, then you go to Rise of the Tomb Raider, and Shadow of the Tomb Raider, I should say. All of those games, to varying degrees, have been very good. I would probably rank it ROTR as the #1 title, Tomb Raider 2013, and then SOTR. SOTR had some narrative issues. Its gameplay was strong, but Rise of the Tomb Raider definitely was the strongest in terms of having high-quality gameplay and having a strong story. That game was just exceptional in a lot of regards. And personally, maybe this is a little bit of a stretch to some of you guys, but I would rank ROTR up there with the best Uncharted games. I really thought it was at that high of a quality level, and maybe even compared to a lot of the Uncharted games, I liked Rise of the Tomb Raider a little bit better. Again, might be a little bit of a controversial notion, but Uncharted and Tomb Raider are often compared to one another, but I think Rise of the Tomb Raider and the Tomb Raider games in general have give Uncharted a run for its money, and you can make an argument that Tomb Raider has been the better franchise, but that is a debate that probably a lot of people will be on opposite sides on, and hey, at the end of the day, at least we have two great franchises that have been offering us pretty great games over the last, decade or so. But that's going to conclude this video. Again, PlayStation 5 store, at least getting better, but a lot of work needs to be done, and a new Tomb Raider game, at least the next one, is looking to unify the timelines of the original games with the recent reboot trilogy. Hopefully Crystal Dynamics can do a good job with that. Seems like a relatively daunting task, but I give CD a lot of faith in offering something of quality. That's going to wrap up this one. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.